Shark Tank India Season 2 is all set to start in January 2023. This is a TV reality show that has given light to a lot of entrepreneurs in our country by giving funding or helping raise funding for their business ideas. The season 1 of this show was actually started in 2022, which also brought to fame one of the judges from the show, Mr. Ashneer Grover, who's also the ex-MD of Bharat Pay, a fintech in India, very successful fintech in India. So why are we talking about this show and Mr. Ashneer Grover? So Mr. Ashneer Grover has been in the news throughout the year of 2022 and not for so good reason. So he did start as one of the very important judges, very vocal judges on the show, and but he himself had been in a spat with the company Bharat Pay, and finally he had resigned from the company in March 2022. Since then, there's a long list of civil and criminal cases that have been running around between Mr. Ashneer Grover and the company Bharat Pay. Latest in December 2022, the company has filed an arbitration case against him to claw back the shares that were given to him, which are still unvested. And more recently, he has written a book by the name of Doglapan, the hard truth about life and startups. So this could be a GA question for you, GK question for the various exams, upcoming exams. But this, more importantly, this news I am talking about, and what is the relationship with this with the SEBI exam. Hello everyone, welcome to iExamB. If you like such thought-provoking videos and conceptual understanding, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon. So I was talking about this news that came in December 2022 that Bharat Pay had filed an arbitration case against Ashneer Grover to claw back his 1.4% of shares which are still unvested. So non-vested or unvested shares relate to those whose right or whose benefits have still not accrued to the owner because of certain restrictions or conditions that have been placed on them. More importantly, we talk about vesting and unvesting in relation to the employee stock options, which was also something that Mr. Ashneer Grover was entitled to if he had not resigned. And he was entitled to almost 100 crores worth of such stock options before he resigned. So what are these and why are we talking about these in context of SEBI exam? Because ESOPs or a lesson in ESOPs is a very, very important part of the syllabus of SEBI exam. So SEBI exam paper 2 consists of 6 subjects including commerce and accountancy, costing, finance, economics, Companies Act and management. And one of the very important topics under commerce and accountancy is your ESOPs or employee stock option plans. Before I move on to explain the process and the meaning of ESOPs, let me tell you about the year-end flash sale, which is right now active at iExamB, under which you can avail a flat 70% off on any of the courses being offered by us. So let's talk about ESOPs. ESOPs stand for Employee Stock Option Plan, or it is also known as the Employee Stock Ownership Plan. What they mean is basically these are option or a choice that is given to the employees or the directors or the officers in the company to apply and buy the shares of the company at a price much discounted than the market price. So this is a way the employees in a company can actually become owners in the company by getting their shares. Right, and these shares, the benefit of getting these shares is that the price at which they are given are actually told to you beforehand, and they are at a discount or lesser than the market value. So you are getting that benefit of getting these shares lesser than. Otherwise, anybody can individually also go and buy them from the stock exchange if the company is listed. But if the company is not listed, then there's no other way that you can become an owner. So ESOPs is a very, very lucrative way to keep employees in the company for longer term, and also help them share the benefits of the growing or the growth of the company with the employees. So ESOPs is basically, if I technically talk, these are a right and not an obligation which are given to the employees to give them the right to buy a specified number of shares of the company at a defined price, which is known as the exercise price. And this you can do after a certain period of time, which is in future, which is usually the exercise period. And this becomes possible only after the vesting period. So there are certain terminologies. Yeah, you may be getting a lot of confusion about what all this exercise mean and vesting means and all. So let me discuss how the process works. As of now, to understand ESOPs is a right or a benefit given to the employees to become the owners or basically get the shares of the company at a price which is usually less than the market value or the intrinsic value of the company. So to understand how the ESOPs work, we should know three important terms that are associated with it. One is the grant, the other is vesting, and the third is the exercise. The grant is actually the giving of the ESOPs by a company to a particular employee or director, which is equivalent to you receiving the right to apply or buy the shares of the company through that ESOP. So getting ESOP per se does not make you a shareholder of the company. It only gives you a right to become a shareholder if you actually choose to do so after fulfilling certain conditions, right? So this process of giving the rights to you from the company's end is known as the grant or the granting of ESOPs. The next stage becomes the vest, when the shares vest, or it's also known as the vesting, which is when you earn the right. So whatever the right has been given to you, the ESOPs that have been given to you, you now become eligible to actually be able to decide whether you want to use it or not, whether the shares that you can buy through that option, should you exercise it, should you avail it, or should you not avail it. So the vesting means that now you become eligible, that you have fulfilled the condition of being able to take the benefit or avail the benefit given to you under the ESOP. That is known as the vesting or the vesting of the ESOPs. And the duration or this period between the grant and the vesting of the shares is known as the vesting period, right? So from the receiving of the right till the earning of the right, the duration is known as the vesting period. SEBI has a guideline in respect of this, which are given under the SEBI Share-Based Employee Benefits and Sweat Equity Regulations 2021, according to which the vesting period should be at least 1 year in case of ESOPs. Now, SEBI used the terms ESOS, actually, which stands for Employee Stock Option Scheme. So they have, instead of using the word plan, they have used the word scheme. They both mean the same thing. So the vesting period has been minimum, as per SEBI, has been said to be 1 year. This question has been asked in one of the exams in 2022 itself. What is the minimum vesting period? So this is important like this also for you to understand, not just from the syllabus point of view, but also what SEBI says with regard to various kind of share transactions. And last, when you get the vesting, that means you have earned the right, you can actually avail that right, which is known as the exercising of the right. That means you actually now take the shares from the company and become a shareholder or an owner in the company. And against that, you give the exercise price, which has been predetermined as part of the ESOP agreement. So that is how the ESOPs work. So now you have the shares of the company, you can sell them, you can keep them with you, you become the owner till you have those shares with you. So to remind you again, having ESOPs does not make you the owner. When you exercise the ESOPs, that is when you get the shares of the company. From the exam point of view, the accounting of ESOPs is also an important aspect. So from the accounting point of view, what has to be kept in mind? So there are a few lines that are mentioned here, which I'll also explain you. So first, let's have a look what we say. The accounting value of the ESOPs or the options shall be treated as another form of employee compensation. So I told you that ESOPs, under ESOPs, you can get the shares at a price which is less than the market value. So say if the shares are of 100 rupees market value and the company is ready to give you these at rupees 30, then the difference between them, rupees 70, is actually a cost that the company is bearing, right? So it's a cost for the company, and this cost is actually treated as the employee compensation. That means a part of the salary or the employee expenses, because this is the benefit which the company has given to the employee. Now from the accounting point of view, these are amortized over the straight line basis over the vesting period. Vesting period, I told you, from the granting of the ESOPs till the vesting of the ESOPs, the time duration is known as the vesting period. And straight line method, if you will recall from depreciation, straight line means whatever is the duration and the benefit, you divide it by the duration to come at the per period benefit that is being there. So you're amortizing it, because the company, if it has given 70 rupees of benefit over 2 years or 3 years, the company is not going to upfront provide this as a cost of total 70, but whatever is the duration of those 2 or 3 years, they will divide it accordingly, equitably over the period, and then show it as a cost in their accounting system. A question for you: what kind of accounting principle is being used when we are amortizing this cost over the vesting period? So there's an accounting principle that is very, very important. Please write in the comments box which accounting principle is according to which we are amortizing it over the vesting period. And last, when the ESOPs which have been which are outstanding, they appear as a part of net worth under the shareholders equity. So right, so you show it on your liabilities and capital side under the equity, the ESOPs that have been outstanding. So this is how the accounting treatment is done. Now let us understand this with the help of a question from your exam point of view. So say there is a company, PLM Limited, which has granted 1000 ESOPs to its employees on the 1st of April of 2020 at rupees 30. The market value is rupees 90 at that time, and the vesting period is 2.5 years. If all the shares were exercised after the vesting period, what is the employee compensation expense to be recorded in the books of PLM Limited in the financial year 21-22? Right? So we have to calculate for a particular year, financial year 21-22. These ESOPs have been granted in the financial year 2021. So April 2020, that means the financial year is 2020-21. They have been granted in this. And in the next year, what will be the employee compensation? So right now I told you that the difference or the benefit between the market value and the price of the ESOP is actually the benefit that has been given to the employees, right? So here, what is the benefit? 90 rupees, which is the market value, minus the exercise price, which is 30 rupees, into 1000 shares, because 1000 ESOPs, sorry, because it has granted 1000 ESOPs, which gives you 60,000 is the overall employee cost. However, now this employee cost actually is not for 1 year, it is for 2.5 years, which relates to the vesting period. And then as per the rule, we have to amortize the accounting value on a straight line basis over the vesting period, right? So we have this 2.5 years, so 60,000 divided by 2.5 years will give us the actual amortization per year, which gives 24,000 per year. So in FY 2021, when the shares were ESOPs were issued. The employee cost is 24,000. Again in FY 21-22, the next year again 24,000 would be the cost, and in the last year FY 22-23, when only half the year's vesting is there, the cost will be half of this, which is 12,000, which gives a total of 60,000 of employee compensation cost for these particular 1,000 ESOPs that the company PLML has issued or granted. So the correct answer is C, 24,000. So this is it. I hope this video has helped you to unfold your potential, and that is how at iExamB we connect news, information, examples to help you understand and unfold your own potential for any kind of understanding of various topics. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and keep preparing 50% faster with iExamB. Thank you and all the best.